the best makeup of 2025 so far. 'Tis that time of year, that halfway point of the year, where I take a step back, I evaluate the hundreds of products that I've already tried the first half of this year, and I break down the best of the best that I've tried. I also do have a couple of tried and trues popping up that I just fell in love with this year, but for the most part, these are the best launches of 2025. The products that have stood the test of time, meaning I'm actually reaching for them, not just because they're relevant and new, but because I really enjoy using them and they add something to my routine. And guess what, you guys? To no surprise, the look using the products is gorgeous this year. I would say my vibe has definitely been a little bit more natural with the eye makeup. I mean, this is pretty unnatural, but I've gone lighter in tone. I did step it up a bit for the video. But nice, light, fairy-like eyeshadow like this. I've loved light pink this year. I am actually not super in love with glowy skin, really. I like a more velvety finish. And I just think all of my favorites are showing through in today's video. And I have to admit, I pulled all of my favorites, and 2025 is not a good year of makeup releases. Honestly, in previous years, I remember at this point there being so many products that I'm just like, how have these not been in my routine before? They felt like cult favorites already. At this point, I'm not feeling that way about a ton of products. So I was actually a little bit more selective this year because there's already so many good products on the market. I don't feel like a ton of the new launches have stood out and outperformed products that are already existing. But nonetheless, I think I managed to still find 20 products that are just downright amazing. And you better believe you've heard me talk about them before. There are no surprises right now. When I like something, you're gonna know about it, and I'm not gonna shut up about it. So as always, I will have all the products that I mentioned linked down below, as well as tagged in YouTube shopping. Let's get into it. The first product that I have is a base, and I just love how lightweight this feels. It's like skincare, but it actually has an impact on the face. This is the One Size B12 Base Thinner Vitamin Pearl Serum. So like I said, this feels like skincare, but it's actually the perfect hybrid between skincare and makeup. Most of the time, I feel like it can really only be one or another, but this is a product that has actually managed to succeed in both, because I do feel it actively hydrating my skin, but it's very thin and soaks in fast enough, but leaves the prettiest golden pearl glow to the skin that is gorgeous on its own, but it also will show through with the products that you put over top. It also mixes well with foundation to create a thinner, more glowier base, if that's what you're looking for. I find a lot of times these makeup skincare hybrid products, they get lost when mixed in with the foundation, and it doesn't change the foundation at all. This is something that actually leaves an impact. It is an amazing addition to my makeup collection. I do not have another product that I feel works quite as good as this. So this is definitely a standout product, comparing it to all of the products that are on the market right now, not just new. This is amazing. Also, for reference, I do have drier skin, so that might help you figure out if your preferences match mine. Foundations. Another disappointing year of foundations. Honestly, I've been sticking to my trieds and trues this year. I am loving the Dior foundations, the whole range pretty much. I have a whole video if you want a full guide on all of the Dior foundations, but I've been sticking to my tried and true classic favorites. But there are two new foundations that I find to be phenomenal, and they're both drugstore. I feel like the high-end market has not launched good foundations, but the drugstore, we'll start off with Maybelline. I love the Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation. I have it on this side of my face. It's very thin. It has closer to a matte finish. And I told you I've not been as into glowy bases. I like a glowy base, but a more matte foundation, because I feel like those foundations just make my skin look smoother and less textured, and I prefer an airbrushed base that the foundation leaves behind, and then I'll go in and add glow with whether that be the primer or the cheek products. I don't want glow, 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 glow all the time. Sometimes it can be too much, but with the matte base, that really does a nice job of leaving an airbrush base, and then I'll go in with cheek products that will add that glow later on. And so I love how this feels like nothing on the skin, and it has a nice, pretty, smooth finish. It also lasts a really long time. It definitely performs like a high-end product, a lot better than a lot of high-end foundations out there. Phenomenal product. It gives a lighter side of medium coverage, but it's still pretty decent for how thin it feels on the skin. And then the next one that I have is from Milani. It's the Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick. Again, this one is also very velvety on the skin, so it does a great job of blurring. It's a little thicker than the Maybelline. It gives about the same amount of coverage, but it also lasts a long time. It just sits beautifully on the skin. I'll do this half and half with other foundations, and I just prefer how soft and plush my skin looks with this. So yeah, the drugstore killed it in the foundation category. They definitely created my favorite too. One thing that I've noticed this year is I've been a little bit pickier than ever when it comes to my concealers. I'm just looking for different things this year. I feel like I'm 29 now. My preferences have absolutely changed since when I started my channel when I was 22. And I just have different requirements for what I'm looking for. I have a little bit more fine lines than I used to have. And just with how base products are changing, I want concealers to do a little bit of a different job. Like, I like concealers adding a little bit more coverage over my cheeks. I like them brightening, but not too brightening. I like them for a little bit of shading as well. So there's different purposes for different concealers, which is why I have 3 different ones, and only one really good one that I've tried this year. So we'll start off with the new one that has been added to the concealer favorite rotation. This is from Westman Atelier. This is such a unique formula. This is the Vital Skincare Concealer, and this is such a beautiful, thick, velvety concealer. And normally with a concealer this thick, I would think that it would get into all types of fine lines, look heavy on the skin, but it blends out like absolute butter, and it's very flexible. I find that with the thickness of this, it actually blurs the skin underneath, making it phenomenal for under eyes. I definitely recommend this for more mature skin as well. I just don't have another concealer that feels like it, and it is like a soft cushion on the under eye. I just love the way it blends out. I like have a fleck of glitter because I did my makeup in a weird order today. Anyways, love this concealer. Now, 2 oldie but goodies that I just have felt as though my love was rediscovered this year. This one is more for my long wear, hot weather days. Something that's a little bit more dry, where I want it to be applied and then set down dry and then last forever. And that's how I feel the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer is. And I think upon first application, like when you're first getting to know this concealer, you might think it would be a bit too dry. It's very thin, but it has good coverage. But this is not the type of concealer consistency that I tend to favor. It just feels too thin and dry. However, just as you apply it, as you blend it out, it's going to stay that way all day. It pretty much sets and doesn't budge. And this has actually become one of my most used concealers this year. It's super reliable. Despite it being drier in nature, it doesn't actually look dry on the skin. You know, if you're somebody who's out at work all day and you need your makeup to last a long time, this is a concealer I would absolutely recommend looking into. And then the last one that I have is just so good for every day. It's very hydrating and it really doesn't crease at all. This is from House Labs. It's their Triclone Skin Tech Concealer. It has a little bit more of a glowy finish to it, which I don't normally favor for a concealer, but you know, I just set with powder, so it's not that big of a deal. This is so beautiful. Sometimes I put it all over my skin and just really lightly blend it out all over the skin, so it's a very light layer all over the skin, and it looks beautiful. It looks hydrated. You can get pretty full coverage. This one's actually quite thick as well. It's a little bit glowier than the Westman Atelier, and surprisingly for how creamy it is, it really is flexible in the under eyes and doesn't get too creasy or anything. It's an amazing concealer. So it's just one that I tend to reach for when I'm not thinking about what I'm wearing, because a lot of times with this being my job, I tend to focus on what products I'm using so that I can test them out, review them, see how certain products pair together. But on the days that I do my makeup, I know I just want it to look good. I'm not thinking about what I'm using and how it benefits the channel. That is a product that I reach for. And again, that is where it clears the test of time, where I know I actually love this product just as an everyday makeup lover and wearer. Cream, like bronzers and blushes, were crazy this year, but honestly at this point, like, they've tapped out how original a cream bronzer or blush can be, that I've been pretty unimpressed until I came across the Polite Society blurring bronzer. Is this a shade Cabana Club or Club Tropicana? I'll have to let you know in the comments, but this is one of the most unique formulas. I don't even know if this qualifies as cream. It is very, very thin. It's almost a powder cream hybrid, I would say. I really haven't felt a consistency like this at all, but it really dries down like a powder. It's so thin, but what amazes me about this is that how it truly does blur the outskirts of the face, which, you know, there's not many pores in that area, but I have found that sometimes when I apply a really glowy bronzer, I will notice some fine lines that are not really, you know, able to be picked up by somebody else looking at me, but I notice it in my magnified mirror with my studio lights, and I just noticed that this one really does blur the outskirts of the face. I don't notice any of those super fine lines, and I think this color is also gorgeous. I've never used, I don't even know if I should call this cream bronzer before, but it's amazing how blurring it is. You don't get any fallout. It's a beautiful shade. It's not too warm. And it's like the thinnest layer of product on the skin ever. Super duper unique, which is very hard to do this day and age in the market. And I love it. Another cream bronzer that I've been loving, which is not a unique formula, but it's so good and so good for the price. I just reach for it all the time because I know it's gonna work and I know it's gonna look good. I know it's gonna blend well. It's from Beauty Creations and it's their contour stick. I prefer the shade Taupe. I mean, there's really no like gags to the product. It's a straight up cream bronzer. It blends easily. I like the shades and it's a great price point. And I really couldn't ask for anything more when it comes to a product like this. I found myself, just like with the Haus Labs concealer, it's just a product where I know it's gonna work good. I don't care what other products I'm using, and I've found myself literally going to my drugstore makeup drawer just to pull this baby out. Very, very good. Cream liquid blushes, actually, I don't really have any except for this one, which is crazy because like 500,000 have launched this year, but they've already done such a good job of cream blushes and liquid blushes on the market. Now I'm just tired. They're all the same. They're all blending together. A product that I felt like actually stood out that I'm loving is from Rare Beauty, and it's their matte bouncy blushes. And these are one of those interesting kind of like putty-like blushes, and I'm actually normally not a fan of products like these, but I feel like Rare Beauty just truly mastered the formula of this. It looks absolutely airbrushed on the skin. You can put it on top of powder. You don't have to have powder. It's not like glowy or anything, but I just can't get over how airbrushed it looks on the skin. It hasn't dried out yet, and you can really layer this up to get quite a heavier layer of pigment. So I just think they did a phenomenal job with this formula, and I'm reaching for it because it's very flattering and it just looks good. One of the categories of makeup that I am the least experimental in is powders. I love using different makeup every single day. I love testing new makeup. I love rotating my makeup collection, except for setting powders. There is one powder that has found itself into the rotation of my favorites. It's so good, so blurring. My skin pores wear, and it's all thanks to the About Face the curtain call Set and Smooth Loose Powder. I'm just gonna let the demo do the talking. You can see how poreless my skin looks after using this. It's also super lightweight, so it doesn't feel heavy at all. And if you apply it with a brush, you can still have your glowy skin showing through. I did use a puff, which is a little bit of a heavier layer of it, but this is like a huge contributor to my skin looking so amazing right now. And I like this not over the Huda Beauty, but comparing it to the Huda Beauty, this is just a little bit thinner and a little bit lighter weight on the skin than the Huda Beauty for reference, but it still has that same level of blur. So if you feel like the Huda Beauty is too heavy for you, or you maybe have too dry skin to handle the Huda Beauty, look into this About Face. I think it's amazing. And About Face just in general does a phenomenal job with complexion products. I picked this up on a whim. I did not expect it to be a favorite of mine, but I cannot put this down. This is from NARS. It's the Hot Escape Cheek Palette. They have 4 different shades, I believe, of this. I love Hot Escape 1. This is the lightest one that has just the regular Laguna bronzer and then the pink blush. And these are existing shades within the line, but there's something about this quad where I love all of these shades together, and the formulas are so buttery smooth. Particularly these highlight shades have been my favorite. Now, I already knew I liked Laguna, and I already knew I liked the Thrill blush. I literally have this in an individual that I purchased, but I did not expect to love these highlight shades. Like today, this is what's giving my skin the glow, and it's so buttery smooth on the skin, you guys. You can't tell where it starts and ends. Overall, everything about this, every single formula in here, I love, and it's just a random little cheek palette that I picked up during a Sephora savings event. I didn't think anything of it. It was kind of a rash decision, and boy, I'm glad it turned out that way because it is amazing, and it still is available because I do believe that was a limited edition launch. Last product for complexion is a powder blush, and these I've talked a lot about. Haven't been able to put these down. Forced my mom to buy them because, and also bought for my mom, because they're the best powder blushes right now in the luxury market. I love the Make Me blushes from YSL. The way that these apply on the cheek is just like silk, and the colors that they have in the range are gorgeous. My mom has a shade that I want to steal because it's just so pretty, but these are the 2 that I have, 44 and 93, and I definitely want to build up my collection on this. They have different finishes. I think the shimmer finish is really pretty, but it's not overwhelming to where it like emphasizes texture and stuff. If you know me, when it comes to luxury makeup, I'm not afraid to put down a pretty penny for a good luxury product, but one thing I expect is for the product to pretty much apply itself, for it to be an effortless application, and that's how I feel about these blushes. It's like you dip once, you do it like this, and it's already blended all over the cheek. It doesn't grab onto anything, and then it also deposits a great amount of pigment. Not too much, not too little, but you can easily build it up if you want. Couldn't ask for anything more in a luxury blush, and of course it is a luxury to purchase these because they are crazy priced, but it's one that I don't regret. I think it's 100% worth it for myself. Okay, we're gonna move on to eyeshadow palettes. I might do a rankings for 2025 because, yeah, it's been a little bland. We know that. I've done that little rant before, but you know, I've still tried some really good ones. These I think are my favorite, not including mine, of course, which is like number 1, but I'll spare you. So the first one is the one that I'm wearing. I've talked about these 2 super duper recently. They've just like entered my life and then knocked everything out of the way because I can't stop using these. So the first one is the Viseart Praline Eats and Do Visi Pro. No, let's do the one I'm wearing first, but that's the next one. The Lila Lumine palette, Eats and Do. And like I said, I've been liking lighter eyeshadow this year, something a little bit more ethereal and glowy. So for this look, I just used this baby pink all over the lid and all over the crease. I just used a big blending brush and put it all over the eyelid pretty much. And then to give me some depth, I used this shade down here all along my lower lash line and then just blended a little bit into the outer corner. It's really simple. And then I used this pink shade, which I should have not done my under eyes and all of that because this one did have a little bit of fallout, but it's fine. But is this not just like the most gorgeous glowy pink ever? I have that everywhere, all over the eyelid. And then I use the darkest shade in here for eyeliner. You know my stance on Visear. I think when they have like their best quality, like this one, they have the best eyeshadow formula on the market. Yes, better than the current Natasha Denona formula. But I felt like in the past, not all Visear palettes were created equal. This is like creme de la creme. And I love this color story. Even though it might not look as exciting, the way that it looks on the eyes is so flattering and so beautiful. So along with this launch, they also released the Praline Eats and Do, which is a little bit more browns. This one sold out really, really fast, unfortunately. But this one is also equally as stunning, just more in the brown family, and pretty much has every color that I could want and need when it comes to neutrals. So same sentiments about the formula. Just amazing, and an amazing color story that's been really right in line with the kind of colors that I'm enjoying wearing this year. Maybe this is a little bit more by default just because of my devotion to these, but whatever. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's the Pat McGrath Mothership palette that launched this year, and I needed the lavender packaging because I love the color lavender. It's my favorite color. However, this palette is much prettier with the black background. So yeah, I feel like this doesn't do it justice. But I had to have the pink. But anyways, even though this is not Pat McGrath's best work, it's not the best formula, this is where my biases come in. I definitely have a bias to the Motherships. It was the first one that we got in 2 years, and I did really enjoy the looks that I got out of it. And it's pretty even if it's not the best, but totally biased with that. But wanted to mention it because it was a very, very exciting launch this year. And then for lips, oh my god. How many glowy lip balms do we need? Like, it's actually torturous. I'm always excited about makeup, but I'm gonna puke if another glowy lip balm enters the market. So, because of that, I've actually been sticking, if I'm not testing new products, I've been sticking to like these over here, just tried and true good products, because these lip products are all the same to me at this point. They're all blending in to be the same formula and everything. So it's just been a very boring category to review this year. Not much exciting stuff in that way, but anyways. Enough negative Nellying. This is a positive video. So, my favorite lip liner has been the Lisa Eldridge Sculpt and Shape Lip Pencil in 0N. It's just that perfect cool tone contoury shade that you can kind of put any lip color over top. I think it's a beautiful formula. I have it as the outline today. Super natural, and like I said, goes with everything. You can even pair it with other lip liners, but having this as a background is beautiful. It's just the perfect everyday lip liner, as you can see, to contour the lips if you're around my skin tone. So I need to buy 5 of these because I need to have them every day. I'm reaching for this pretty much every day. Even if not as the sole lip liner, I use it a lot of times just as the background to give me a little bit more of a powdier effect. This is like the most unique lip balm that goes on the lips because they're all like super glowy and whatnot, but I love this. I don't have another product like this from from Too Faced. It's the Pillow Balm Lip Treatment, and these are like a liquid lip balm, but they're not trying to be what all the others are right now where they're really glossy and glowy. Now these do have a glow on the lips, but again, it's really just like a chapstick almost. A little bit more liquidy, like smashed up into here. So it's not too glowy, but it gives amazing hydration, like a true lip balm would. And they're actually pigmented. Like this color shows up on the lips, as you can see in the demos. So my favorite colors I pulled for you. I like the original. This one's just clear. It's just a really beautiful hydrating formula. I also love Pink Pineapple Kiss. This is the perfect everyday pink. And then for like more natural brown lips, more neutral, Hot Cocoa Kiss I love. And it also does smell like chocolate. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love food scented makeup. Like sweet food scented makeup. I know people are against fragrance nowadays, but I can't help it. I just love that stuff. And I love how these actually have color to them. Even though they're not like glossy and glowy, I don't mind that. I love that it's a little bit of a shine, but it's not too much. and it's just perfect and comfortable for every day. Love this product, don't have another product like it. And then lipsticks, even though there's so much gloss, and I do love a good gloss and lip liner only moment, you need a lipstick to just give you the color that you want, you know? And my favorite lipstick formula that I discovered this year is from the drugstore and is very randomly CoverGirl. This is such a creamy formulation with a beautiful shade range. I only pulled 6 today, just a few of my favorites. There's so much more. I'm actually going to quickly go down the line of the swatches for you because you need to know. Satin Slipper, Darling Kiss, Dreamy Pink, Crema, which is one of my all-time favorites. This is from top to bottom, by the way. Maple Glaze, and Snow Blanket. Snow Blanket is what I demoed. It's like the perfect nude shade. But right now, with the Lisa Eldridge lip liner, I have on Satin Slipper, which, with that little contour background, is the perfect light pink nude lip. And these are so creamy, they're so comfortable. They do not feel like a drugstore lipstick at all, which can sometimes feel drying. These are truly hydrating and creamy and smooth and apply with a super even pigment. And I really like the packaging. It's very KKW, old school KKW, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, love that lipstick formula. Have been really, really impressed by that. So Fenty this year launched their gloss sticks, but in a high shimmer finish. And this is one of the prettiest but still wearable glittery lipstick options on the market. Particularly my favorite shade of these Gloss Bomb sticks is Fenty Glow. And again, with that high shimmer finish. And you can just see in the demo that the glitter is actually visible in the lips when you apply it, but it's not too much. I think it's stunning. This is one of the very few products on the market that claim to be glittery and actually are, but still wearable. And I do really like this formula. I think the flat finishes, like the regular line, I've always really enjoyed that formula, but it's maybe not as special. There's a lot of other products like it on the market. This, with the high shimmer finish, is very special because there's not a finish like this. And I just love this shade, Fenty Glow, with a brown lip liner for those everyday neutral looks that I tend to wear a lot this year. This is the newest, most recent product that I've tried, but when you know, you know. I think Kulfi has managed to launch a product that's trendy, but also do it differently. So this is their Lossy Lips Staining Lip Oil, particularly in the shade Sweet. So I complain a lot about lip stains because I just feel like they're too bright and vibrant, and they're all kind of the same shade of red or like a really, really dark pink shade, and it's not very flattering. This is the most flattering lip stain I have ever come across, even more than the Clarins one that I was talking about. This is the most beautiful mauve shade. Like, look at that, and it leaves behind like a mauve stain to the lips that's still very natural, especially for those of us with lighter skin tones. I do find that the lip stains tend to just look a little bit too vibrant against the skin tone, and it's just not very flattering for myself. This is actually a flattering lip stain that leaves a stain behind on the lips, but it's not too much. It's not too vibrant. It's not too popsicle-y. So yeah, this is super duper unique, and the color over top is like the most pretty everyday mauve shade. And so the way that this works, like, you leave this shade over top if you want it, or you can wipe it off and have the pretty mauve stain that this leaves behind on the lips. But I just love this shade of the lip oil so much that I leave the lip oil on, and then when it's gone, you still have the prettiest stain left behind. I do not have another lip stain that is such a wearable color. So that's all I have for the makeup. I did want to give a shout out to my fragrance of the year so far. I am not a fragrance channel, however, I do like to smell good. I like things that smell good. I like my fragrances, despite my lack of knowledge and my lack of sophistication when it comes to that category. I love a sweet smell, and all year I have been rocking Philosophy Fresh Cream. I just think this makes me smell like a vanilla cupcake, but not too young, depending on who you're asking, but not too young for me. It's a very simple vanilla fragrance, and it's really great to layer with other fragrances because it's more on the simple side. But I I want to smell like a buttercream cupcake, and this gives me that vibe. Smells like the icing, to be exact. So really simple fragrance. It's a lot more affordable than a lot of the other stuff that I have, and it just smells good if you are a gourmand girl. Give it a try. Also, what's really good that I've been loving is, it's too new for me to put it in this video. The Vava Vanilla from Josie Moran, the new fragrance mist, is also really lovely. That's quickly becoming a favorite of mine. But anyways, that is all I have. Those are my favorite makeup products for 2025. I'm sure I forgot a few faves, but that's okay because my redemption story will come at the end of the year when we do my big giant end of year favorites. But it's just really a nice time for me to take a step back and reflect on all that I've tried this year and what really has stood out. And to be honest, 2025, it's been disappointing. This is the least in love with the lineup that I've felt in years, because I remember every year at this point, I'm like, wow, this many great products have already launched. This year, it's limited. It really, really is. So, I don't know why. I do know why. Brands are launching the same thing, and I'm sick of it. I want something new. And all of these, I feel like, bring something new and fresh to the market, and they're very beautiful and they look great. So I want you to take a moment. If you tried any of these products, let me know your thoughts on them and your skin type as well, even if they differ from mine. I think that it's a great resource for people to go for other recommendations. And if you have any products that you've loved that I didn't mention in today's video, again, please, please, please share down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have loved so far this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. As always, everything is linked down below in the description box for you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.
It's delicious.